Hey everyone, this is Reshma from Edureka and welcome to the Tableau dashboard tutorial. And like I always do, I want to confirm that you all can hear me properly, so if you can, drop me a confirmation on the chat window. Alright, so Surya and Rishav and Abhay, they all can hear me properly. Okay, I'm getting confirmation from the others as well. So let's get started. So this is what we'll be learning today. We'll start with the basics of Tableau and then we'll learn Tableau using a use case, which is the Indian Premier League, popularly known as IPL in India. After that, we'll see the IPL flow diagram. This will show you the insights that we're going to make using the IPL dataset with Tableau. We'll also see how to manage datasets, how to integrate different datasets together to make more fruitful insights. We'll understand this by a practical demo. I'll show you everything starting from connecting to data, integrating data, and making visualizations, and hence getting those insights. And in the end, we'll take a look at the Tableau success story, what companies have been using Tableau, and how they have benefited using Tableau. So I hope that the agenda is clear to everyone. So shall I move forward? All right then. So let us get started with the basics of Tableau. So the first thing that you need to do in order to make a visualization is connect to your dataset. Now with Tableau you can connect to numerous kind of datasets. You can connect to an Excel file, you can connect to a text file, a JSON file, a CSV file, and many more. You can also connect to different servers. You can connect directly into a Tableau server, a Microsoft SQL server, or Oracle server, and also with Amazon Redshift. So you don't have to worry about the dataset that you're going to load into Tableau because Tableau is compatible with any kind of data source file. If you're trying out Tableau for the first time and you don't have any datasets to experiment on, I'll tell you that the Tableau has some sample datasets like the example that you can see in front of your screen, which is the Superstore datasets. So when you load or connect to a dataset, you can see a brief overview or a preview of the data source that you have loaded and the one which you're going to use to make visualizations. So you can take a look at the fields that you'll be dealing with. So we have got the order ID, order date, ship date, shipping mode, customer name, segment, and all the different fields that is present in your dataset. And you can also choose whether you want to make a live connection with the dataset or extract some of the fields or all of the fields and then make changes onto the dataset. Since we're talking about data fields in a data source, we should know that what kind of data types Tableau supports. So you can see in front of your screen that these are the data types which Tableau supports. The first one is Boolean. And you know these are simple true or false values. It's either true or false. Then Tableau supports date values, and the format could be like this, like December 31, 2016. Apart from that, there are also date and timestamp values, which contains the month, the date, the year, and also the time. And it can be in this format like you see over here. It will contain the hours, minutes, seconds, and AM or PM. Now Tableau also supports text or string. Text like welcome to Tableau. This is an example. Then it also supports numbers, both decimal and whole numbers. Now Tableau has a very special kind of data type, which are the geographical values. And this field or this kind of data type is automatically detected when you have a field like city, state, or anything that describes a geographical location. So whenever it'll find geographical locations like New York, France, India, Beijing, or any other place name, Tableau will auto-detect it as a geographical value. Now you can also find out which data type is which with the icons over here. Every data type that Tableau supports is mapped with an icon. So if it's a text or a string values, you can see the icon is ABC. If it's only date values, it is represented with a calendar. And if it contains date and time values, it'll have a calendar with a little clock on here. When you talk about numerical values, both decimal and whole number, it is represented by a green hashtag. The Boolean values are of T pipeline F. And geographical values are represented with a circle which looks like a globe with latitudes and longitudes. So these are the Tableau data types that you'll be dealing with. Now, while using Tableau, you don't have to worry about what data type should you assign to each of the field. Tableau will auto-detect everything and the data types will be automatically assigned. But if you want to change the data type of a particular field, you can also explicitly do that in Tableau. For example, there might be situations like if you are making visualizations for a release history of a particular application and you're dealing with the year. So maybe instead of a number, because you don't want to make calculations on that particular field, you can treat it like a string. And in that case, you can explicitly change the data type of that particular field. Now moving on, we'll see how the Tableau desktop UI looks like. So when you open your Tableau desktop, this is what you'll see. So you have your data pane, you have your toolbar, you have your worksheet over here and the marks card. In the data pane, you can see all the different fields that are separated according to dimensions and measures. I'll come to what is dimension and measures in a while. And if you see here closely, it has already categorized the data types together. The customer name, if you see the icon over here, you remember that this icon represents a string. Similarly with segment, and if you see the order date here, you can see that a calendar icon is present here. It means that there is the date, the month, and the particular year. The order ID is also specified as a text, and the ship date is also a date. And the measures like discount, profit, and profit ratio, these are just numbers, and you can identify it from the icon over here. Now you can also define sets, which is just a collection of items, and you can also define different parameters like the profit bin size, the top customers. So we'll be learning how to do that in the coming demo part. And this is the workspace. You can create different worksheets. You can incorporate those worksheets by creating a dashboard and many more. So I'll be telling you all about how to use all these different options in the Tableau Desktop UI. So don't worry about that. We'll get into that in a while. So now comes dimensions and measures. So these are the dimensions and these are measures. So dimension is an independent variable. It means that in order to define this, you don't need any other variable. Whereas measures are dependent because since measures are nothing but numbers. And dimensions are usually text or date values or geographical values. Now dimensions are used to add more detail. Now measures are just numbers. It will just give you the number, the quantity of a particular data field. And only numbers do not make sense. For example, if you consider, let's say, sales. So you just have the number of sales. So that might look like something like 10,000, 20,000. But when you say that sales of a particular year or sales of a particular region, and years and region, these are dimensions. So when you visualize like that, when you incorporate measures by defining them with dimensions, it adds more detail into your data. So these are dimensions and measures. So if you have any doubt, you can ask me. But you'll be learning more about how to use measures and dimensions in the coming part. So don't worry about that. Okay, so I don't have any questions, so I'll just move ahead. And this is the Show Me data pane. So after you have analyzed your data set, it is time to produce the visualization for your data set. So the Show Me data pane will give you options of how you can represent your data. So you can represent it in different forms. You can represent it in pie chart, in dual axis, in circles, in concentric circles, overlapping circles, in a bar diagram, and many more. Sometimes you'll see that not all options are highlighted for your dataset. It is because the fields in your dataset or the kind of dataset they're using might not be compatible with these kind of visualizations. Now, if your dataset do not have any geographical value, you cannot represent your data on a world map. So you can choose one from the available options for your dataset and you can make the visualization. So by now I have given you a brief overview of whatever options we'll be exploring in Tableau, and we have covered mostly all of the options. So now let us take a use case of the Indian Premier League, the IPL, in order to understand Tableau in depth. So how many of you watch Indian Premier League? Let me ask you that first. Okay, so Surya says that he's a big fan. Yes. Okay, Abhay, Akshay. Now for those of you who do not know what Indian Premier League is, well, it is a very popular T20 cricket match, and cricket stars from different countries take part in the Indian Premier League. Now there are different teams that play in the Indian Premier League, so these are the teams. There is the Royal Challengers of Bangalore, Kolkata Knight Riders, Gujarat Lions, Delhi Daredevils, the Hyderabad Sunrisers, Rising Pune Supergiants, Kings 11 Punjab and Mumbai Indians. And in India, this is the most awaited and the most popular cricket tournament ever. So let me just ask you, which are your favorite teams? Can I know that? Okay, so Surya's team is the Royal Challengers of Bangalore. Rishabh says Mumbai Indians. Okay, so I'm seeing that we have quite a lot of RCB fans here. So we'll find out at the end of this tutorial that whose team is the best, because we're going to make analysis about the IPL teams only. So let's see whose team is the best. So let's understand the insights that we're going to make using a flow diagram. Now there is a huge amount of IPL data. Now you know that every time a bowler throws a ball and the batsman bats it and scores a run, everything is recorded. There is a record of each of the ball that was bowled, each of the run that was scored by a batsman. So you can imagine the huge amount of data that we're dealing with. And not just IPL, you must have noticed that whenever there is a match telecasted on TV, there is a pre-show or a post-show that is usually held where the different experts sit together and they make an analysis of maybe who's going to win. They try to predict who's going to win or who's going to lose and how much runs are they going to score or what is going to be the outcome of a particular match. Now, I'm not an expert in cricket, but definitely I can ask Tableau to help me to make all those analysis. So we're going to do the same thing. And even if you have ever watched those fourth umpire shows, you can also see that sometimes they show different kind of visualizations like the wagon wheel, which is very popular, which shows trajectory of every ball by a particular batsman. So they see those visualizations and they make an analysis of it. So we're going to do the same thing with Tableau, only we're not cricket experts, but we sure are Tableau experts. And we can do the same thing with Tableau. So we're going to feed that huge amount of data into Tableau, and then we're going to make different insights. So the first thing we'll do is we'll find the orange cap and the purple cap holders throughout all the seasons. So you know that an orange cap holder is the one who scores the maximum number of runs in a particular season, and a purple cap is awarded to the person who gets the most number of wickets in that particular season. The next insight we're going to make is who was the man of the match for a particular match and who was the man of the series across all seasons. We're also going to find the overall top 5 players who have performed the best throughout all the seasons. Next, we'll find out the best teams across the seasons. We'll find out which was the team that has performed the best. And we'll be getting onto these insights by creating visualizations for each of them. And then we'll publish these insights onto the website. So you can see this is what the official IPL website looks like. It has got the batting leaders' names and what is the scorecard for each of the team. Now let's have a look at the data set that we'll deal with. So the first data set that we have is the team table. So we have a team ID, and for every team ID there is a corresponding team name. So the team ID of Kolkata Knight Riders is 1, for Royal Challengers Bangalore it's 2, and so on. And there is also a team shortcode to identify each of the teams. So for Kolkata Knight Riders it's KKR, similarly RCB, Chennai Super Kings are CSK. And the opponent ID and the opponent name are basically the same thing that we have just gone through. The team ID is the same. The opponent ID is the same field as team ID. So it has got the same team IDs, and the opponent ID has also got the same numbers. And similarly, the opponent name is similar to the field team name, and opponent shortcode is also similar to the field, which is team shortcode. Now I'll be telling you why do we need the data set to be like this. Next up we have the player table. This is just an example. Now this is just a part of the data set since there are a lot of rows in our data set, so I could not incorporate that in this screen, so I just mentioned 24 names over here. So we've got the player ID starting from 1, and we have got player name corresponding to each of the player ID. We've got the date of birth of the particular player, if he's a batsman, which is his batting hand, if he's a bowler, which is his bowling arm, and the speed of the bowler also, the country where each of the players belong to, and if he was an umpire. So if it's 0, it means that he's not. Next we have got the match table. Now this contains all match details. So we've got a match ID, we've got match date, the date where the particular match was held. The team ID and the opponent ID are the IDs of the teams that have played on that match. The season ID is which season of IPL was this match held on. The venue, the stadium where it was held, which was the team that won the toss, and what did they choose after winning the toss. Then if there was a super over, if it's 0, it means that there were super overs. That means the match resulted into a tie, and to break that tie, they played some extra overs. So if it's 0, it means that though it wasn't a tie, there was no super over played. And if it's 1, it means there was. And is result, this field indicates that if at the end of the game there was a particular winner. So if it's 1, it means that there was a winner in that particular match. If it's a Duckworth-Lewis, now this means that whether the match was interrupted due to rain or something, so that they had to reduce the number of overs and hence make a new target. So if it's 0, it means that there wasn't a condition like that. And then there is the win type, whether they won by runs or by wickets, and how many runs did they win by, or by how many wickets did they win by. And this is the match winner ID, which team ID was the winner. And then the man of the match ID, this is the ID of the particular player which was chosen as the man of the match. This is the first umpire ID, second umpire, the city where it was played, and the host country. And up next we have the player match table. Now it contains fields like match ID, player ID, team ID, is keeper, and is captain. So you can see that match ID is similar, and these are the players who have played on this particular match 335987. And these are the player IDs of the players who played this match. And there is the team ID, that player number 1 belongs to team number 1, player number 2 belongs to team number 1, and hence 10 belongs to 2, and is keeper. So this is for a particular player. Player 1, if he is a wicket keeper, it will be 1, and if he's not, it's going to be 0. And this is for is captain, it is a boolean again. It shows that if the particular player with the player ID 1 is a captain, then it will be 1, and if he's not, it will be 0. And now we have the season table. So now it contains the season IDs, the season year. So the first season has the season ID 1, and it was played at 2008. The orange cap ID was 100. It means that the player with the player ID 100 has been given the orange cap too, and similarly it's the same with purple cap ID. And the man of the series ID is over here. So this highlights the orange cap, purple cap, and the man of the series for a particular season. So these are the data sets that we'll deal with. And now we'll get started with the practical demo. We'll perform all this, we'll use all these data sets, and we'll make the following insights that we talked about. So here it is. This is my Tableau desktop. And this is where I'll be creating all my workbooks and worksheets. So the first thing that you need to do is connect to your data source. So you have to click on connect. So the data source that I'm going to use are all CSV files. So I don't see it here in the options, so I'll just click on more. I'll browse on to the folder where I have my data set. So I want this CSV file over here, which is team. So I'll just click on here, click on open. And so there it is. And these are the fields that this particular file contains. You can see that there are other data sources, or there are different files over here. So this is because these are the other files that is contained on the same file location. So I need a lot of details right now. So the analysis that I'm going to make is not sufficient with just 3 of these fields. So I need to incorporate more data sources. So in order to do that, you don't have to do much. You just have to drag and drop the other data sources that you want to integrate this with. So the next data source that I want is the match.csv here. So I'll just drag and drop it over here. Now this will ask you for what kind of join that you want. Whether you want an inner join, that means it will have all the common fields from the team.csv and match.csv. Whether you want a left join, that will have the common part of match.csv and team.csv and the entire of team.csv. Similarly, right join is entire of match.csv with the common part of both of these. And full outer join means it will contain all the fields from both these two datasets. So now I have to define a join. So I'm going to select the inner join. You also have to define the mapping. It means which of the two fields that you want to match with. So I'm matching team ID from team.csv and I'm mapping it to team name ID, which is in match.csv. So now there it is. You can see how the integrated data set looks like. This has got all these different fields over here. Okay, now I want some more. So I need the match.csv again because I need to map some other two fields also. So again, I'm going to choose inner join. And here I'm giving team ID should be equal to opponent ID. Now I need one more data set, which is player match.csv. I have to define team ID of team.csv should be equal to team ID from player match.csv. Okay, so this is done. Also now I'll be making an analysis during the entire season, so I'll include this to season.csv. So I'm defining inner join. So I'm going to match the season ID from match.csv onto the season ID in season year. And I need to map season ID from season.csv. So now I'll just drag and drop this season.csv file. And I'll match the season ID from match.csv to season ID of season.csv. So again, I need to integrate my other CSV file, which is the player.csv file. And here I want the player ID of match.csv. Here I want the player ID from player match.csv should be equal to player ID in player.csv, which is there. And I'm done integrating my different data sources together. So now we'll go to our worksheet. And first let us make a visualization of all the orange cap holders. And as you remember that an orange cap holder is the person who scores the maximum number of runs in the entire season. So let us also rename this sheet as the orange cap sheet. Okay. So now what we need to do is we just need to drag and drop fields over to rows and columns. And the fields that needs to be dragged and dropped all depends on the kind of visualization that you want. Now for orange cap holders, I need the names of all the orange cap holders for all the seasons. I want to know who was the orange cap holder at 2009, who was at 10, 11, and so on. So what we want in our column section is the season year. Now we'll find the season year in the season.csv. So here it is. So we'll just drag and drop this field over here. And I'll drag and drop the orange cap ID in the rows section. Okay, so here it is. So now we have got the orange cap ID and the season year. And the ID needs to also tell me the name of the player. So we'll create a calculation field to find out the name of the players who actually got the orange cap. So we'll go to create calculated field. So let us name this calculation as orange cap calculation. So it'll be if orange cap ID would be equal to player ID from player.csv, then I want the player name. And make sure you end it and click on OK. At the bottom, you'll always find your calculated fields that you have created. So what I'll do now, I'll just drag and drop this over to the rows. So in order to remove the null values over here, I'll change the measure for orange cap calculation and I'll change it to attribute. Yeah, so the null values are removed. Now let us make this look a little better. Instead of vertical lines over here, let us put some little caps since we are talking about orange caps. So you can just go how you want to represent it. Go to shapes, click on shape over here, go to more shapes. Go to the folder where you want to choose your shapes from. Now remember that the shape folder for Tableau is in your My Documents. You'll have a My Tableau repository, so you can go inside that folder and you'll find a folder where it says shapes, and there will be other folders inside there. So you can copy that picture which you want to use and put it one of the folders over there. So I put it in KPI. So here is my orange cap. Okay, I'll choose this one. Click on OK. And now you can see there are little orange caps over here. I'll go ahead and increase the size a little bit because they look like tiny dots. Yeah, now they look like caps. So if you now hover on each of the cap, you'll know that for 2008, the orange cap ID of the player was 100 and the orange cap holder was Sean Marsh. Similarly for 2009, it was Hayden. In 2010, Sachin Tendulkar, Chris Gale again, and then Michael Hussey. Then it's Robin Uthappa and Warner, and then Virat Kohli in 2016. So here is your visualization for all the orange cap holders throughout all the seasons. And similarly now we'll create our purple cap holders. So we'll rename this sheet and we'll name it purple cap. And we'll do the same thing again. Wherever we have put orange, now in the same fields we'll put the purple cap. So you remember the first thing we did was season year in columns, and then in rows you need the purple cap ID. Like we made a calculated field for orange cap, we'll make a calculated field for the purple cap also. So we'll name it as purple cap calculation. And the condition will also be similar. So instead of just orange cap ID, we'll use the purple cap ID. If it's equal to a player ID from player.csv, then we need to display the player name. So click on OK. So here is your calculated field. So drag and drop it to the rows section. So again, you remember that in order to remove this null values, we changed the measure. We're going to do the same here. And again, we'll do the same with the shapes. So for shape, I'll choose a purple cap. Let me choose this one. Okay, so this is the increased size. So again, if you hover on, You can see that for 2008 it was Sohail Tanvir and Narpi Singh and so on. So now we'll go ahead and we'll find out the man of the series and the man of the match throughout all the seasons. So at first we'll find out the man of the series in each of the seasons. Let's rename this sheet as man of the series. So now what we'll do is we need to find the man of the series. So I'm going to represent this visualization in a geographical way. That means I'm going to choose the world map because every season IPL is hosted at different countries. So why not use a world map? So now you have auto-generated latitude and longitude fields. So I'll just drag and drop this. I'll drop longitude onto columns and latitude onto rows. So there it is. Here is my world map, and I'm going to pinpoint out different cities and different locations where each of the matches or each of the seasons were held. I'll put the man of the series on details over here so that if when you hover around different places, you find who was the man of the series for a particular year. I'll also put filters so that you can find out that who was the man of series for a particular season. So now we also have to create a calculated field to find the man of the series because we have the player ID but we don't have the player name yet in a particular data set. So again, we'll call it man of the series calculation. And similarly over here we'll say if man of the series ID is equal to player ID, then display the name of the player and then end. So click on OK over here. So in detail, I'll add the city name. So we'll find that in match.csv. So this is the city name. We'll put on detail. Yeah, and let us put the host country as well. So these are the cities where the matches were played. So there were cities in India, in UAE and South Africa. So these are the three countries that have hosted IPL from 2008 to 2016. So let us now put colors. So for that, I'll take the man of the series calculation and drag and drop it to colors. So let me also change the measure. So India has hosted IPL a lot of times. So in the same cities, there were matches played over different seasons. So we'll add some filters so that we can visualize it year after year. So in filters first, let me put the man of the series ID. Sometimes when you can find different fields, just use this search over here. So I want the man of the series ID. Okay, so here it is. I'll drag and drop it to filters. So I'll select all of them. Click on OK. Also select this. Okay, let's select all except null because we don't want null values. And let us also put the season year as a filter because we need to search who was the man of the series for a particular season. So this is the season year, and let me drag and drop it to here. So I'll click on show filter. So now you can see that this is for a particular year where, so if you just hover on the top of a circle, you can see that the man of the series was Watson. So you just have to drag these filters over here if you want to see, let's say in 2009. So in 2009 it is Adam Gilchrist. Similarly, you can go on, check for each of the individual years. So let's check for 2010. So again, for 2010, it is Sachin Tendulkar as the man of the series. So here you can just drag over the years to see who were the man of the matches. You could also choose to represent it in a more simpler way, not in a world map if you want to. So for man of the match, let me just show you a very simple visualization. because sometimes keeping it simple is the best. So we'll call it man of the match. So here we'll do a very simple visualization. We'll just use columns. So we'll just use rows over here. So what we need is we need the match ID, and then we want the man of the match. Okay, so let us also create a man of the match calculated field because we have to display the name of the player. Okay, so here I'm getting updates about the IPL. So it's a good thing that I am making analysis of the IPL details from 2008 to 2016 at the time when there is IPL going on in 2017. So if I could have waited a few more days to get it over, I could have included this year too. So okay, so let me just close this. Let's get back to Tableau. So we're supposed to call it man of the match calc, right? So again, it's a similar thing. So we'll say that if, okay, let's not search by this, man of the match ID will be equal to the player ID, then display the player name, just like how we did it. So click on OK. Now we'll drag and drop this field too. So let us also include the city name. Okay, there it is. So in the text part, let me include something. Let me include the win type over here so that this column would get filled up. Okay, so the team which was a winner, they won by runs or by wickets. You can see it displayed over here. So let me remove the null values. Okay, so we'll add some filters also over here. So just drag and drop this one at filters too. So we'll remove the null values from here. Click on OK. So now you'll find that particular match ID, who was the man of the match, where was it played, and the winning team, did they win by wickets or by runs. So this is a very simple way to represent your visualization, yet it gives you a lot of information as well. So you can add more filters here if you want to, but you can leave it like this if you just want. So this was the workbook for the orange cap, purple cap, man of the series, then man of the match. So now what we'll do is we want to see the overall best team that has performed the best entire all the seasons. So for that we'll create another workbook because our data source would be a little different. So let me just save this one. So I'll just name it IPLW1. And now we'll create a different workbook for that. So just File, click on New. So here I need to connect to data first. So click on More. I want the team.csv again. So here it is, team.csv, and I'll integrate this with the match.csv. I'll define an inner join where my team ID will be equal to the opponent team ID. And then I need the team.csv again. So I'll drag and drop it. So I'll integrate this with the match.csv. So I need the team ID from match.csv. Okay, so let me search from match.csv and I'll select the team from team CSV1. Okay, that there is. Now again, I'll choose team.csv. I'll drag and drop it here. I'll choose an inner join. I will again choose match.csv. So I need the match winner ID should be equal to the team ID. Okay, so here is my data source. So we'll go to the worksheet. So we'll rename it as the best team. So now what we'll do, we'll just again drag and drop some fields over here. So we need the match winner ID from match.csv. That's here. We need the team name from team CSV2. Let's get the team ID from match.csv. There it is. Then we need the city name and we need the opponent ID. Search for the opponent team ID. There it is. So I'll just drag and drop this over here. So in colors, let me put team name from team CSV2. So over here in the column section, the first thing I'll do is, so in order to represent it in a better way, I'll click here. In measures, I'll go to count distinct. Then I'll add a quick table calculation. Let's make it running total. Let us modify this more. So we'll right click this one and we'll use specific dimensions and restart every match winner ID. So we'll close this and let us make sure it fits the height. So after you select the fit height, you can see the performance of all the teams together, and you can see that Chennai Super Kings has got the highest peak over here. So the second might be the RCB, the Royal Challengers of Bangalore, with 41, and the score for CSK is 44. And here is the Rajasthan Royals with a score of 40. And close to Rajasthan Royal is the Delhi Daredevils at 39. So you can see all the teams over here: Gujarat Lions, Rising Pune, Sunrisers Hyderabad, Kochi Tuskers, Pune Warriors. You can see that the highest peak is for Chennai Super Kings, so they have performed the best. They have won the most matches throughout all the seasons. So this is how we have a visualization of the best team. So now we'll go ahead and we'll find the best players throughout all seasons. So we'll do that in a different workbook as well because the data source is again going to be different. So we'll save this one. So we'll call it IPLW2. I'll go to File, click on New. So this is my new workbook. The first thing I need to do, connect to data, go to More. Now I have a data set known as ball by ball. So I'll select this data set over here. And I'll integrate more data sets with it. So the first one will be match.csv. Now here I'm matching match ID of ball by ball to match ID of match.csv. It's fine. Then I need player.csv. I'll drag and drop it. I'll put the striker ID over here and I'll map it to the player ID. Get that? It's done. Now I need the player match.csv. Now here I want the match ID should be equal to the match ID in the player match.csv. Now it automatically got mapped. Now next I want team.csv. I'll drag and drop this. And here what I need to do is I need to select a field from ball by ball CSV and I'll take the team batting ID. And here I'll map it to team ID from team.csv. Okay, so here is my data source. So we'll go to our worksheet and we'll rename this sheet and we'll say top players. Okay, so again I'm going to go ahead and drag and drop the different fields. So the first thing I need is the player name. So search player name over here. Here it is from player.csv. So here is my player name. Now I want the striker ID from ball by ball CSV. I'll select the team ID. Then I need the team name, the season ID, and the match ID. Okay, so we'll add some more filters. So we'll drag and drop this player name over here. We'll select all. We'll click on OK. We'll also put this in colors. So now what we'll do, we'll select the batsman scored into the column section. Okay, so we'll do a running total, that quick table calculations and a running total. So now what we want is we want the top batsmen, the top 5 batsmen, let's say. So we'll add a season filter to it, that for a particular season who were the top batsmen. So we'll create a calculated field. So let me call it top 5 calc. And this is it. Let us first choose season 8, that means last year. Let us choose season 8, this is for 2015 season. So we'll click on OK over here. So we'll go there, right click, we'll go to edit table calculations. Let's do the same thing over here. Alright, so we'll also add the season ID filter over here. So let us find season ID. Okay, since we added the calculation for the season 8, so we'll unselect everything. And let me sort this one. So now we'll just list out the top 5 players. So we'll go here, edit filter, create on top by field. Let's select top 5. And we have made that calculation, which is known as top 5 calc, right? Here it is. And click on OK. Okay, so now if you click on fit height, you can see that these are the top players in 2015: AB de Villiers, Rahane, Warner, Simmons, and Kohli. So you can hover over here, and if you move your cursor, you can see the strike. The running sum of the batsman was 562. For Kohli, it's 505. Then it's 540 for Simmons. This is also 540 for Warner, and it's 532 for De Villiers. So these 5 were the top players according to our visualizations we made. We used filters to find out this top 5 players in 2015. So let's go to the actual website and verify if these are all correct. So I'll go to my browser over here. So this is the official website. Okay, so these are the 2015 batting leaders. So we'll view the full list. And you can see that we have found our top one. So we had Warner with 562, if you remember that. Then we had Simmons and AB de Villiers and Virat Kohli. So these were the 5 and we got that 5. So yeah, there it is. So it means that we have made all correct insights. Now what you can do is that you can copy all the worksheets that you have made, and you can include it in a dashboard. So now we have created all the visualizations that we need in order to make insight. But they are all in different worksheets. If you want to view them all together, or maybe you want it for a presentation purpose, you want to show it to your senior, your manager, who can view the entire thing at once. So for that, you need a dashboard. And in order to create a dashboard, you just go and click this icon over here, and this is your blank dashboard. So these are all the worksheets that we have created. So what we can do, we can just go ahead, drag and drop all these worksheets over here so that we can have an entire view of all the analysis and all the visualization that we made using Tableau. So I'm just going to drag and drop these sheets over here. Now I'll just drop the purple cap. You can also adjust the size. There you go. And you can go ahead and add all the different sheets as well. So this is how it is going to look like. So now I've adjusted all the sides and I've made the dashboard already. So this is how it looks like. So I've got all my worksheets here, whatever I want to view, it's right here. So this is how you can create visualizations and put it all in a single dashboard so that everyone can see all the worksheet and all the visualizations that you created at once. So this is what you can do with Tableau. This is how you can create dashboards. You can add more sheets to it and you can adjust it in different ways also. So any questions till now? All right. So now you know that how interesting Tableau can be. How can you make insights so easily just by visualizing your data? So let us also see how other people have also benefited using Tableau. So these are the companies, and if you see closely, these are the big giants, the most renowned companies who are using Tableau, starting from Cisco to Ferrari, Stanford University, Coca-Cola, Adobe, Deloitte, Bank of America, and many more. These are just a few examples. There are companies using Tableau worldwide to make analysis of their data and use it in business intelligence. Now if you look at a few of the comments made by some renowned members of the company, like Ryan Renner from Deloitte says that Tableau is changing the game for us. It's reduced the time that they have to spend on lower value add activities. Similarly, Alan Benjamin from Cinemark thanks Tableau by saying, "You have crafted a powerful analytical tool for us. Thank you." So he seems quite happy. I think even when you start using Tableau, you would be happy too, because it can do a lot of things for you. It can solve different problems for you because it can give you insights about your whole business problem, and then you can go look for the solution of it. So there are many more people praising Tableau, so these are just 4 of them. You can go through the other 2. And that's it. If you have any questions till now, you can ask me. Do you have any questions? All right, no questions. I am happy that this whole session was clear to you. So let's take a look at what we have learned today. So we started from the basics of Tableau. We learned how to connect to data, how to integrate data. We learned about what are the options there are in the Tableau desktop UI. Then we took a use case to perform an analysis, and we took the use case of the Indian Premier League, or the IPL. We made insights about that, and we also learned how to manage data sets. So we have combined and joined different data sets together to make an overall analysis of everything. Then I showed you the practical demo where I have made visualizations for all of the insights that we wanted to make. And in the end, we took a look at the success stories where we have seen companies like Deloitte, Cinemark, Wayfair, and One Kings Lane talking about Tableau and praising Tableau. So thank you guys for watching this tutorial. If you have any questions or queries, or if there is any kind of feedback that you want to give me, kindly leave it on the comment section below. And I'll see you next time. Till then, happy learning.
I hope you enjoyed listening to this video. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries, and we will reply to them at the earliest. Do look out for more videos in our playlist and subscribe to our Edureka channel to learn more. Happy learning!